Come on, glisten.
Hey guys!
Hello!
Welcome to the stream once again. I told you I would be back in a little bit, and they wanted to watch some Master Chef Junior and watch the little kids cook fancy stuff. And
it's cool.
yeah. Now Julie's got some strawberries for dessert. And how did you fix the strawberries?
This is 4 strawberries, people. 4. That's it. 4 medium-sized strawberries in a, you know, the old traditional cereal bowl, not the gigantic bowls, but yeah. And it's got some cinnamon, and then I did sprinkle a packet of Truvia because I like to have it all.
Just 1 packet of Truvia, which is erythritol and stevia.
Yep. And then cinnamon, just a dusting of cinnamon because I like them that way.
Right.
They're yummy.
And I'm doing this on my phone, so my capacity to like share stuff is sort of like jacked up. So if you're seeing this post, go and share this link with some of your friends, tweet it out, or post it on Facebook or Insta, Pinterest, whatever you're on, and we're gonna make some chia seed cookies, some chia seed cranberry orange monster cookies with walnuts. Hey. Old Nerd Review says he has no friends. I don't believe that. I've seen your friends. Right before I flush the toilet. Ah! I think I'm one of those.
I was just about to say
I think I'm one of those. So. I think I saw it before. Anyway, yeah.
I'm glad he spoke before I did because I was about to say something else that would have been incriminating to us.
Anyway.
Mwah! Hello, Jenny.
So what a great way to start out a video, because I was telling you guys about the Fathead Chalupa video before from that we recorded and did last year, and look at Julie now, and go look at that video, and look at Julie now eating Fathead Chalupas. Does this to a person, so it's pretty cool. Anyway, so I'm going to shoot her away now so I can take over the kitchen like the kitchen Nazi that I am. And I am booked for my flight to Portland, and we booked the car rental in Portland. And
you are ready to get out of here.
I am. I'm ready to get out of here. And I have most of my stuff already packed because like my suitcase with all the retro gear in it is already packed. So I'll be heading up there with a Commodore 64 and an Amiga and the Retrocade Wii, yeah, and then I'll be bringing some chia cereal and some of these cookies that I'm gonna make, which are just a great snack food. So I figured I'd show you guys how to do this. I already filmed this, so at some point I will edit down like a real solid video with this recipe in it, so you guys can enjoy it even if the stream breaks down or something. But I'm using this same cookie sheet that I used earlier because parchment paper is wonderful. So I will just put new parchment paper in it, and we have a ton of parchment paper. The air conditioner broke down about an hour and a half ago, so that's real fun for cooking when it's
All the windows are open.
80 degrees. So the windows are open.
That's good.
And the central air fan is on. So just gonna fold this over and cut it off.
9, 10.
And then one of the things that I do with my parchment paper after I cut it off is I put it in the drawer, and I use it for like sliced cheese, or if I make a bunch of waffles, or if I have some meat that I want to keep from sticking together in the freezer or something like that, I line it with parchment paper in between. And there we go, we're ready for our cookies.
Beautiful. I get 2 bars.
So now I just gotta get my chia out. So this is the chia cereal packages that I'm gonna use tomorrow when I pack up all my meals and stuff. Then I've got this thing of chia. Yes, you did just hear Julie talk about blossom snot.
Are you?
All dried and crusty on my arms.
Still your turn, right? Yes.
So I'm going through my recipes here. I got the muffins, chocolate muffins, paleo English muffin, keto waffle, peanut butter chocolate chip, cheesecake, mayonnaise. Where is it? Where's my cookie? There, nope, that's the muffins.
We're going to need new mayonnaise too.
Oh, don't remind me. Where's my cranberry? Oh, I guess I got the recipe printed here.
And the cranberries on the bottom, in the floor there.
Huh? No, I'm talking about the recipe card.
Right, but when you're ready for your cranberries, they're in the pantry.
Okay.
Because you're going to need them.
Yep, I'm gonna need them. And I got my little. Hey, Lori.
Lori.
I got my recipe printed out right here, so I don't have to sweat it. It's gonna have 3/4 cup of chia seed. So since I'm making a double batch, it's gonna be 1.5 cups of chia seed. And I measure that before I grind it. This is very key because 2 things. Chia seed expands in water. And as soon as you get it into the batter, it's going to turn into the blob that ate Cincinnati. You will see. And so you want to measure it before you grind it so that you have the right amount. Or you can measure it by weight if you want. I'm going to do 1.5 cups. And I actually have 1.5 cups measuring cup. Rock cheer.
11. So I looked good.
1.5 cups measuring cup. And I'm going to do this in a huge bowl, which is not clean, because I used it for my previous thing. So I'm going to wash it real quick. Hey Lori, where did you see this at? I'm 8-bit tonight? Oh man. Great. My connection's really poor and I don't know why.
Because we live in the vortex.
Yeah, I live where there's 300 Wi-Fi connections everywhere. And I chose to do this on my cell phone. Yay, but I'm getting this great alert on my phone that says that it's a poor connection. I don't know why. I should maybe try this on the 5G connection or something. $10,000 Wi-Fis. All right, cool. Well, great to see you, Lori. Yeah, when I get everything set up, I'll be setting things up better when I come back to Portland. But until then, I'm doing this on my phone in the interim. But when I come back from Portland, I'm going to set up OBS Studio, and we're going to have everything all wired up over here for the webcams and all that business. And I'm going to set up all my little subscribe buttons and stuff in OBS. So all I got to do is set the laptop here and talk to you guys and have fun. And but that's the beauty of the live thing, is that I can interact with you guys. And you can watch me make like really stupid mistakes and huge messes. And you're probably gonna, this particular recipe, this is like comedy in the making, because the batter does this funny thing. If you mix it too long, it just starts like attacking your mixer, and it's seriously, it's just comedy in the making. So hopefully that won't happen, which will make it really easy to clean the beaters off. Otherwise, you guys are gonna watch my mixer basically get consumed by a living, breathing chia monster that will reach up as if I released the chia kraken. And so now that I got the bowl all dried out, I can get away with this. So 1.5 cups of chia is what we're going to use. Right there, okay? 1.5 cups of chia. So this is going to have to be ground. You can do it without grinding as long as you don't, as long as you don't mind having, kind of a more of a seed cookie. You have to be kind of prepared for that. I'm not crazy about that. Now, I do like it in the cereal, so I actually, in the cereal, the breakfast cereal, I don't grind it, which I have done, and I've tried it and it was good, but for this recipe, I find it to be more like, I'm trying to go for like those energy bar type things that they sell in the bakery at your local grocery store. So, yeah. But these are going to be nice and smooth. It sort of has kind of the texture of like a wheat biscuit sort of, but it's going to have cranberries, and it's going to have walnuts and orange. So, got that going on. We're in the door and a closet. We're out there.
Yep.
Just
there you go.
big green package.
Actually.
Okay. So the product that I'm using, and you can dry your own cranberries, that's cool, just takes forever, and I'm super lazy. So these are expensive, but they go a long way. And it's just cranberries, so it doesn't have any of the refined vegetable oil that they add to a lot of this stuff. It doesn't have any sugar. You're going to have plenty of sweetness in this recipe, so you don't really need any of that. But this is the product I'm using today. When I first made up this recipe, I did it with cranberries that I dried myself. It was fantastic.
I have an idea.
But then I ran out, and I just was desperate, and it's hard to get fresh cranberries when it's not November or December. So just cranberries. And so we're just going to open that up. And of that, the recipe calls for, the dry ingredients are a 3/4 cup of chia. We're doubling the recipe. And then we've got 3 teaspoons of coconut flour, so that's 1 tablespoon, so 2 tablespoons of coconut flour. Let's do that. 2 tablespoons of coconut flour. But I'm going to grind up my chia before I really do anything with the dry ingredients. But we have to use this big, huge bowl for the mixing, because otherwise, if we try to use like normally for a regular batch, I would use this thing. But I will say that it like turns into a tower as it, like the tendrils climb the beaters. So
Oh, do it just to show them to be fun.
No, it won't. It won't be fun. That would be for a single batch. You could do it with a single batch, but a double batch, like no. You need like this. You need like your big popcorn bowl.
So I got 2 boxes. I got caramel.
Chia coffee in chia coffee. Holy cow. Okay, so the grinding part. Let's get to that. This is nothing short of I don't know. You might call it a fire hazard. Let's see. 2 of these guys here. Where? Got a basin here somewhere. So you guys are gonna love this when I actually have scheduled streams, so that I don't like fumble through this stuff anymore. So when I have regular scheduled streams, which will probably call screens, then these will be much more organized. So since this is like huge, right, and I'm a klutz, as much as being a klutz is fun, I've also got a funnel, so the anti-klutz feature, I'm going to pour half of it in there, okay? Because seriously, this stuff like turns so fluffy that it just won't really grind right. And maybe you can get chia flour or something, but you know what? I'm just going for the cheapest option possible here. This stuff. And I'm going to do this over here because it's like super loud and you guys will hate me. I don't want you to hate me. I'm like my second live stream on this thing. So I like to start about the time where the motor starts smelling like ozone. And you know, I can only say that because I got, like, you get these bullets at the Goodwill for like $10. So anyway, so the dry ingredients I'm gonna put into, well, no, that won't work. I'll put the dry ingredients in this, okay? We're gonna sift that. Just with a fork, you know? Very briefly. And you'll notice like the chia, it'll stick in the base thing. Just knock it out. There you go. Now, we'll do the other half. But I will tell you, you probably shouldn't grind all your, like, you know, you buy the chia from the store, and if you want to have these cookies all the time, you probably should not. Oh, the bullet is just a magic bullet. It's called Magic Bullet, and they have these on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description at some point. But also, I get my chia seed at Costco or wherever it's cheapest. You can get Walmart. You can get like 5.5 pounds for, I don't know. I try to keep it under $4 a pound. If it's under $4 a pound, then you're getting a halfway decent deal. But you go to some of the niche health food stores, it's not worth it because you can get organic chia seed for less than $4 a pound. Some of the niche health food stores sell it for more. It's just not worth it. So I'm taking my last little bit of chia there. Got a cup and a half total here that I've dumped, and now we're going to grind it up in the bullet. The last half of it here. And I will acknowledge that doing this with the bullet is maybe not the same. Doing this with the bullet is maybe not the best case scenario. Rather, you probably should do it with like a mill, like if you have some kind of a grain mill or something. Grain mills are expensive. And I'm all about keeping this manageable, affordable, and reasonable. So like a $10 bullet seems like, oh, I don't know, seems kind of cool. As opposed to $300 for a mill. Alright, so I'm just going to set this aside because I made the mistake of not keeping this out of the sink before, and then I really wish that I'd kept it out of the sink. So set that aside. So this bowl is going to be for the wet ingredients, which is where we're going to really end up starting with the mixing. But for now, let's put the dry ingredients out. We're going to get 2 tablespoons of coconut flour, and I always have a teaspoon in here because I always use teaspoons of coconut flour, but we're going to do 2 tablespoons of coconut flour in there. Quarter teaspoon, so we're going to use a half a teaspoon of baking powder. I have found that in these cookies, you know, I put that in there, and I don't know why I put that in there, but the fact is that the baking powder doesn't help this recipe at all. So I tried it with and without the baking powder, and it makes no difference at all. So I don't think that chia reacts at all to baking powder. So I'm gonna just save the baking powder. Forget it. Well, that didn't belong in the sink, but it is now. Welcome to the BroBryceCooks kitchen. And coconut flour gets put away. So we're gonna skip the baking powder. We have 4 packets of true orange powder, so it's going to be 8 packets, or a half a teaspoon, which in this case the double batch will be 1 teaspoon of orange extract in the wet ingredient. We're going to use the true orange packet. And because I'm like super cheap and I don't like to buy anything very often, I've got like really old, like a whole ton of these true orange packets, and some of them are like stuck together and stuff. But this, I try to just check them, see if they're still nice and powdery. So I'm gonna need 8 of these. I got 1. This is the exciting part. There we go. 2 orange packets. Bacon. We need bacon. I need bacon.
We have bacon.
Sean didn't need bacon.
3.
No, we probably needed more bacon.
No, it made the texture and the way they cooked and everything all screwed up.
We need bacon extra.
You probably should have. We're watching the Master Chef Junior, and one of the kids screwed up his recipe by adding bacon. My theory is that he would have done better if he had made the recipe out of bacon and simply added a little bit of the other stuff to make it more like one of those things. Because, you know, like what's Gordon Ramsay going to say bad about bacon? Come on. Yeah, Lori, if you want to see for yourself, look at some of the old videos on this channel. Like, look at some of the first videos on this channel. And it's funny because, like, I still eat those recipes, and I used to have people commenting on the videos saying an unhealthy meal for an unhealthy man. Well, you know, then all of a sudden I lost 85 pounds, and I went to my doctor, and my doctor's like, whatever you're doing, just go ahead and keep doing it. Works for you. You know, and then it turns out, like, I show a bunch of people how to do this stuff, and it works for them too. That's weird. So I'm going on 7 packets here, and also when I get my live stream going, like, for realsies, I'll have like the chat window up in the thing, because I've got like this really great guy that's like showing me stuff. I think his name is Tony, and he's like showing me all this crazy cool stuff about live streaming, like especially when you're not doing it with your phone. But you know, that's how I roll. Like, it's funny how I had this gardening channel. I still have the gardening channel, but I can't garden anymore because I live in an apartment and there's nothing to do here.
And it's
in the desert. In the desert. Go figure. And I live in a place in the desert. One place, my place, has no sunlight. So, you know, you can't grow anything. I could grow vampire bats, but who gardens for vampire bats? Anyway. So I got my orange powder.
Oh, wow.
Now I'm going for a half a teaspoon of salt. The recipe calls for a quarter teaspoon. I'm going to do a half. because it's a double batch. So I got my pink Himalayan salt. And you know, I'm not like some kind of a salt snob, okay? I buy pink Himalayan salt because I think it might be good for me or something. Probably. But you know, it's salt. And I just figure I'm getting good salt. You know, whatever. You know, I did fine for years of losing weight and doing fun stuff and eating regular salt. And if anybody tells you to cut back on your salt, they're stupid in the head. Alright, so I'm going to do 2 of these 1/4 teaspoons, because 2 quarters makes a half. And then I'm just going to leave that in there, because that's what I normally do with the 1/4 teaspoon, because I have a lot of recipes that use a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Because salt makes things taste how they taste. Sometimes you don't have to add more sweetener. You find out that when you're cooking stuff, you add a whole bunch of sweetener and it just tastes over the top sweet. You find out if you add just a little bit of salt, it makes that flavor pop out without making it sickening sweet. Yeah, you could probably get a little more sodium from eating a Jack in the Box. You could probably also get diabetes and heart disease from eating a Jack in the Box too, but you know, I digress. We also have 6 tablespoons of granulated erythritol, which would be 12 tablespoons, which would be 3/4 cup.
We're only changing it 5 parts.
12 tablespoons is going to be 3/4 cup of erythritol. Watch me do conversions in my head, man.
So what? It's not the light.
That's right, to get more erythritol. This recipe is going to call for it. Alright. You know that I'm live streaming and you talk about constipation and gas. No, it's okay. It's okay. The world is ready to hear about your constipation and gas, Mama. Oh, it's the best thing ever for a live stream.
I love it. I love it. It's awesome.
You know, one time I was in a movie theater. And I was in a movie theater. I don't remember what movie I was seeing. But it was a movie that I really wanted to see, and I went by myself because nobody else wanted to go with me, or could go with me, or whatever it was. But I was in the movie theater, and there was a whole row of guys behind me, and they're all like in their 60s, 70s, maybe 80s, and I could hear them saying, you know, ever since my prostate started going out on me, and then they start. The one guy's he's like, yeah, man, all right. You know, I hate going to the movies because I just don't know when I'm going to have to change my sack. And I'm just like, what? And finally I'm just like, you know, come on. I realize, you know, maybe you don't get out as much as you used to. Bryce hangs a pork chop around his neck so his pug will play with him. That's fabulous. Friggin' fabulous, Tony. You're my friend.
Yes.
I'm coming up to Portland and I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you, Tony. We'll have to do a live stream together on your channel. Okay, so we've got the erythritol. And we emptied 1 bag of it. Now we need a 1/2 cup of finely chopped walnuts. Now I've got like halved walnuts. And I've got Okay. More clumsiness in the BroBryceCooks kitchen. I am going to use the bullet again. Very quickly. Because my food processor, sadly, is full of pepperoni from the last stream that I did. I know, but it's going to be pepperoni flavored chia cookies if I...
Yum.
No. No, not yum. Not eating pepperoni flavored chia cookies. You know, I don't know why they put a Ziploc part on this thing. You know, they put the easy to open thing and then they make it like impenetrable by anything short of anti-aircraft weapons or something. Alright, so I'm going to just use a little bit at a time and then I'll measure out the finely chopped walnuts. I really didn't want to do that way. I'm going to have to chop them. And I don't have my slappy chopper anymore, so it makes me mad. That's not going to work. That's just going to make walnut flour out of them.
That means you have to use the food processor.
Yeah. So, food processor time, which is going to be wet.
Dry it.
Oh, killing me.
Duh. He said he was lazy, so.
I am. I'm lazy. I just want to like do this recipe and then put everything in the dishwasher and forget about it. I don't want to have to do all this.
Could have done that, but we ate dinner.
Yeah, we ate dinner and I did a stream earlier and I was our habit. You know? You've been there. You know that song. Speak amongst yourselves. Okay, so clearing out my food processor real quick. You know, I love how in the infomercials they always tell you that food processors are like really easy to clean. They're really easy to clean ever since they invented dishwashers. But they're not easy to clean if you have to wash it by hand and you're live streaming. It's a pain in the butt, you know. It's a pain in the butt. It's a pain in my butt. And you're watching this live, so it's a pain in your butt too, whether you like it or not.
Because Bryce is a pain in everybody's.
That did not sound very good. That sounded inappropriate, and I apologize. Dishwashing, I know. Why? Jim, killing me.
I love this live streaming thing. Awesome.
I know, right? It's fun. I'm actually far more entertaining on the live stream than I am in real life.
Go figure.
Because everybody hates me. No.
Silly goose.
Okay. Alright, just trying to wash the pepperoni off of this because I don't want pepperoni flavored chia cookies. Dang it.
Well, it should be good.
It could be good, but it's probably not shelf stable. One thing that's wonderful about these chia cookies is they actually are kind of relatively shelf stable. They're cooked. I mean, you know, cookies are, you know, pretty much shelf stable. Because for the last, I don't know, 3 or 4 centuries you've had cookie jars, right? So, as much as any cookie is shelf stable, these are shelf stable. You know, as long as you don't have roaches or bed bugs in your shelves, you know, they're shelf stable. As long as your shelf is stable, then they're shelf stable. Probably not heavy enough to pull down a shelf, unless it's like a really flimsy shelf. Oh, your dishwasher is horrible? Man, I'm glad that we have a halfway decent dishwasher. The last apartment that we were in, it didn't rinse everything completely, and so everything came out sort of tasting like Cascade. I know I'm going on about, I know I'm braggy, but I'm going on about roaches and bed bugs. Alright, so this is clean. Now, the blade. The blade of pepperoni. If you're wondering what I'm talking about with the pepperoni thing, the last stream that I did just like an hour and a half ago, I did pizza tacos, fathead pizza tacos, and those are made with almond flour, mozzarella, the shells. So they're low carb, as is all my recipes. But this this recipe called for, man, I was using these wonderful scraps of pepperoni that they sell at grocery outlet for almost nothing, and I ground them up in the food processor like taco meat. And holy crikey, it was so wonderful. They're so delicious. It was the best dinner that we'd had in a month. And it was relatively simple. The whole dinner was pretty much set up in an hour. I just got to get this extra dry because I don't want walnut butter, you know. I'm not trying to make walnut butter. So I need this thing to be dry. Or else we'll have walnut butter.
That could be yummy.
It could be yummy, but it's not the intended purpose of this recipe. Sure, we just take the little spindle thingy, stick it on there, put our food processor thingy on there, and then we've got a lid thingy for the food processor. The lid thingy goes on top of the food processor thingy, and then you dump the bullet thingy. You know what, you take the lid back off of the food processor thingy, and then you dump the bullet thingy in there. There you go. Which was like turning it into walnut powder. Because, I don't know, the bullet's like 3,000 RPMs or something. So I'm just going to dump this whole bag of walnuts in here because I'm actually going to use these for walnuts later. You know? Because that's what you use walnuts for, most of these walnuts. Man, that's loud. But look, finally chopped walnuts in like seconds. So we're done. Would have taken me all stinking day to do that in the bullet.
Of course, this is the only part that you do.
Lesson learned.
That trash is a pocket. This puts me in
Thanks for the cause a kick-ass omelet. Yes.
I think.
Oh yes. The omelet. You know, Tony, the kick-ass omelet was like a one-of-a-kind omelet. Like all my omelets, I can only make them once, and then I'm on to something. I forget how I made it, and I just make another omelet, like the pizza omelet.
That was the best one ever.
I made the pizza omelet. I made a bacon guacamole omelet.
Ooh,
What the heck else did I make? I made a
kitchen sink omelet.
taco omelet. Basically, I take my fridge and I open it up and I dump it out through a funnel into a bunch of egg and I make an omelet out of it. That's how I do it.
Would you make a bacon guacamole omelet?
I can make a bacon guacamole omelet.
I've never had one. I would like it.
I'm sure you would. As would I.
Breakfast tomorrow. Yay.
So I'm going to take this and
You have, well, like, remember.
I'm going to do something with this.
We got those rules in there. Pouring.
Try to get it back in this bag.
Gotta get 2 grams
Let's
off
see
this.
how this goes. This will be
Copper and
fun.
a stick.
Nope, that's not going to work. Thank you for watching.
You put them in water too.
Oh dear. I'm a mess. So, alright, so here's what I'm going to do. I got a trick.
There
dump it into this container because this container is square. And then dump it out of this container over a bowl and still spill it everywhere. Because that's how I roll. But I'm getting more of it in there. Sort of. Hey, it's almost all in there. A little bit of crumbs in the bottom. That worked better. So now, for just a good thwack. If you ever watch like old Batman shows, thwack is a word. It's a verb. You can use it. Go ahead. You saw a pug? Yes, she's been wandering around here. Ah!
She is currently laying over.
I make noises. Random, great noises. And I make messes. So welcome to the BroBryceCooks kitchen. I make messes and I make noises. That's it. Alright. So there's a cup. I think we froze up for a second there. Uh-oh. Am I here? Am I still here? Am I still here? Am I still here? Are we still here? Okay. I think I froze up a little bit there. But I got a cup of walnuts here. And I'm going to add that later. No, I still see you. I'm back. Yes. I'm back. Back in business. I shouldn't sing because that might be a copyrighted song. I've got a very poor connection, it says. Thanks to my phone and my lousy internet service provider here. It has a monopoly. 8-bit. Oh, very bad connection, it says. This is really sad. I'm very sad about my very bad connection.
Yay, I can finally do it.
Okay. We'll dump the rest of these crumbs in there. Okay. So I'm going to continue as if the connection were solid and amazing.
Or anything else.
So we have the finely chopped walnuts, and then we have half a cup of dried unsweetened cranberries. So I'm going to take the nuts here
So I'm going to get a grandma.
and the cranberries, and I'm going to show you why I am going to hold this stuff out beforehand. Okay, the other trick that I'm going to do with the cranberries is I'm going to go ahead and chop up the cranberries in here. So we're going to measure out a cup of cranberries, the dried cranberries. And because I want the flavor to pop, I'm going to actually take the cup of dried cranberries, and they come like this. They're like little dried, super light, ultra light little cranberries that they're like made of foam or something. They're like what you would have sitting out on your table that you never want anybody to eat. But these are not sweet by themselves. They're very bitter if you eat them.
Yeah, I have 2 grandmas.
But I'm going to take and put that in there. And we're just going to make this into like cranberry dust. And you can chop these up if you like chunks better. You can chop these up and just do it that way. That's fine. But for the sake of keeping this fast,
So I can get this too, also, right?
Yep.
put the cranberries in there like that.
So I've got 2.
I know, it looks like rabbit poop, right? Yeah. All right. So there's that bullet again. So I got all my dry ingredients. Okay, now the wet ingredients. 4 large eggs. We're going to use 8 in this thing. 8 large eggs.
Stop it.
Eggs. Don't you love them? Eggs. Chocolate meat. I'm having
So I
fun.
got 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, and 9 here.
And if you're wondering why I have two kinds of eggs in here, there's actually a reason. The more expensive of these eggs is the farm fresh eggs
You've
that I
got at least that
have.
many.
And I use those for making mayonnaise because mayonnaise is, you're going to use raw eggs in your mayonnaise. One of these days I'm going to do a live stream of my updated mayonnaise. Because I might do that tonight because I got to make mayonnaise. So I might as well do it, right? Make that and then edit it down and show you guys again later. But so I'm going to need 8 eggs. And I'm not going to use the farm fresh eggs because these ones are going to get baked. Like the old days. Okay. There we go. So I got a cup of those. And now 8 eggs. So I know how to count. Sometimes. I know we have a pug. Had 2 pugs. Sadly, one of them went away. She was very cute. She was our little princess. I socialed this out on BroBryceCooks group. That was all I got the chance to do. I did that right before I came over here. I did not tweet it, but in the future I'm going to get better at that. I'm going to have everything hopefully automated. The if this then that thing seems pretty cool. Well, if I had done it in the BroBryce Health group, which you could post it over there if you want to. If I had done it in the BroBryce Health group, I probably would have a couple more people. Because the BroBryceCooks page at this point is still pretty new. And the BroBryce Health page has at least 100 more people, maybe 150 more people in it. So that's 6, 7, we need 8 eggs. Minus the shells. You know, shells that add texture, right?
Oh my. That was so awesome.
So 8 eggs.
And I have 4 money.
We need a 1/4 cup of water, so that's a 1/2 cup of water. And I'm just going to tell you ahead of time, just like I was explaining earlier, how this is going to become like the blob that ate Cincinnati. Once this chia seed hits water, it starts congealing and it becomes insane. So if you can get the beer part of it done quickly, which is part of why I powdered the cranberry, so we're not trying to mix that in later. And then we're going to just mix this in with a spatula, mix the walnut in with a spatula. Meantime, I need a 1/2 cup of water. Let me get that water purifier going here. Half a cup of water. And there we go. 1/2 cup of water. That right there. And what else do we need for wet ingredients? We need a teaspoon of vanilla. And you know what we say about vanilla? Add as much as you want. Because, after all, it's made with vodka. What could go wrong? So, that's about 2 teaspoons, almost a tablespoon of vanilla. This is homemade vanilla, by the way. I know it says something else on the bottle, but this is actually homemade vanilla. I bought Madagascar vanilla beans, and I split like 3 or 4 of them in the middle, and then I stuck them in a bottle of vodka. Because a 16-ounce bottle like this is like 20 bucks. Now I can get a big bottle of vodka like this, and it's like $11 to 15 bucks.
Okay.
Go figure, Gabe.
Well, I believe that this I can get
I am immune to the inflating prices of Madagascar vanilla.
No.
Oh, that's free. That's right. So you have 8 money. There you go.
All right. Next, we need
Okay, so the grandma.
8 tablespoons of butter melted. This is the part I love. I love. Because since we're doubling this recipe, this means we're going to literally use 2 sticks of butter in this recipe. This is so awesome. 2 sticks of butter. Do you not love 2 sticks of butter in a cookie recipe? Oh my gosh, that's half of this package is going away right now. Oh, shut up. I know my connection is terrible. That's why I'm trying to be entertaining. Don't you know
I
anything?
have 4.
2 buys.
2 bucks.
These are 2 each.
Do I have to be more? Okay, I'll just be a really funny video game then. He says it's a BroBryceCooks video game on a 486.
4, 5, 6, 7.
He's so mean to me. My friend Tony.
8 is 2 buys.
Alright, 2 sticks of butter
I'm just gonna get
going into here. I'm going to remember to try to use my 5G connection next time I hook up. 1 stick. And we're just going to stick this in the microwave for like a minute. See how it does. And it's so hot in here. I just took this out of the fridge and it's literally just melting right there. Yum! 1 minute. You know what I like to do with butter? Best hand lotion ever. Next to bacon grease. Alright. There we go. So we got the butter, vanilla. Preheat the oven to 350. There you go. Start. Preheat. Nothing in there. Good. That way we don't die.
I wasn't positive.
Whole point of this channel is to not die.
I didn't realize that I would have gotten that.
Alright, we're going to get rid of some of this trash. Got a bunch of trash. Get out, honey. Get out. Little monster. Little baby monster.
He's like, you're not giving me any attention.
Alright. 2 sticks of butter. Glug, 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 glug. No. That would be cool though. That would be like the butter challenge, right?
No, those are
Let's see if we can. We should do a butter challenge. One of these days we'll do a butter challenge. Like, who can eat a whole pound of butter? A whole package of. Can any, have we done that? Has anybody done a butter challenge where they like melt? I don't know. Probably scald yourself. We would like make it taste like buttered popcorn. I'll do that for you guys one of these days. We'll make it taste like buttered popcorn. Drink a pound of hot buttered popcorn.
Dude,
The whole point of your channel is to die. That's great. Okay, so we got our mixing bowl here, and I'll put it over here so you guys can sort of see it. But because the comedy begins here, right? The comedy of the mixing thing begins right here. Where the chia meets the liquid, this is where the comedy begins. I'm just warning you, okay? And so probably what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix the butter in first, and then I'm going to mix in the chia so that it happens faster. Because if I have this thing still beating as the chia begins to set up, this will begin to climb, and it will be catastrophic. So I've got my handy dandy $2 garage sale. I got this from my buddy Mark, who's also part of the BroBryce Health Group. And I got this for $2 at his garage sale. That's how we met, actually. Put this in. And boink. Whitney. Is Whitney here? Hi.
Hi, Winnie.
We're making chia cranberry walnut orange
Yumminess.
monster cookies. Okay.
Super good yumminess.
With my handy dandy $2 garage sale mixer. And we're gonna try not to make the chia into a giant beast that ate Cincinnati. And how did that end up? Something. Oh, something ended up flying into the cranberry mix. Fun. It was like the lid from the old avocado oil thing. So I'm gonna beat the eggs. And this time, to avoid the chia that ate Cincinnati effect, I'm only doing this on low because I don't want to beat this thing like to where it is like whipped cream. Okay? Add the butter. Normally I add the butter afterward, but with this chia being the way that it does, I do not want to spend any more time than necessary beating this chia because it will like just climb the beaters and whatnot. But you can see that it's like layers of stuff here, and I'm going to sift this a little bit before I try to mix it in. Again, we are not going to add the baking powder because chia does not react.
Awesome. I love those eggs.
Chia does not react to baking powder at all. It doesn't do anything for it. Okay, yeah, the butter, there are 2 sticks of butter in this recipe, Whitney.
7.
Butter is good for you. Butter is great. If you can get grass-fed butter, fabulous. I've bought grass-fed butter, and honestly, I'm not one of those distinguishing types, and butter tastes like butter, but I'm sure that grass-fed butter is far better for you if you can get it. But, you know, I'm all about keeping it manageable. If you can afford grass-fed butter, go for it. If you can't, I'm not going to guilt you into it.
Dude, Kerrygold. Oh, when I was in Georgia, that's what I bought because it was just me.
Yes, Tony, butter does eat grass. It eats it with its buttery mouth and its buttery lips and its several buttery stomachs.
And I must tell you, it is that.
You know what? I eat butter. I just eat butter. And if you can eat butter, eat butter. And if you can get grass-fed butter, I'm sure it's great for you. And I'm sure it tastes wonderful. I haven't eaten it often enough. You got butter, you got Amish butter once and like Kerrygold better. Better butter.
Kerrygold's so good.
Kerrygold's good. You know that people got arrested. They got raided in Wisconsin for smuggling Kerrygold. They had a freezer full in the garage, and they were selling it to their neighbors. Okay, so as I'm mixing this with the bowl, I'm gonna start adding in the dry ingredients. And I sort of tap the pitcher on the mixer. And you want to get this part done as fast as possible. If you were using any other kind of flour, I would say go for it, you know. Mix for as long as you want. But chia is another specimen altogether. Ground chia will attack you if provoked. So I'm just trying to get this stuff mixed. You can already hear my mixer gasping for life as it's going through this. I'm going to take my handy dandy spatula and scrape the sides here.
$3.
Okay. I'm going to scrape the sides here. And
All of those are free.
because the stickiness of chia is pervasive. Hey. Look, watch. Look. It's trying to climb the beaters. It's trying. But I'm not going to let it. I'm going to stop right about now. And part of the reason why is because I just stinking hate splattering stinking chia everywhere. It turns to concrete on your clothes. And I need to wear a tarp when I cook.
He does.
I need to do like some what is it, Naked Gun
Ooh.
body condom thing when I'm cooking chia. It's
That would be
just
wrong, 'cause it
it's
rises.
crazy. All right, so we're getting all the yeah. We're going to a place where Family Channel just does not work, so we'll stop right there.
The chia, it rises.
Shut up. Shut up about chia.
Great. It does that wobble wobble thing. That's
Yeah.
fine.
Okay. So just so you guys can get a look at this, right? Look, this is like the. I'm serious. It's like the blob. Okay. It's all butter. We got Mama over here cracking up. She's gonna bust a hernia or something. Okay. Now we're gonna add the walnuts to the batter. Because I don't want to be, I've done this before where I added the walnuts with the beaters, and by that time, it's like this stuff is setting up, and it's eating, it's devouring the beaters, and it's devouring the whole mixer. So I'm just trying to get these walnuts in here now. And you could do the cranberries this way too. If you just chop them up, and you don't want to make them into a powder like I did, you can just add them in afterward like this with the spatula, because it's just better than trying to mix them in with the mixer, because it starts to climb it and it's just crazy. So this stuff is so elastic, it's just insane.
Yeah, 3 more.
Ooh, don't do that too long. I'm gonna smoke up the place. All right. So we got our batter made.
Okay, I'm gonna.
We've got our preheated oven, 350, right?
This
And I'll put all the ingredients in the description at the end when I'm done.
Alright,
So,
that's all.
And I have.
How I make this stuff into controlled cookies, because I somehow like symmetrical things, but don't like to have to do the work.
16 money with 6
All right,
eggs.
I am gonna do egg rings. Okay, this is great. Craziest trick ever. Okay, for cookies, egg rings. Okay? This is my trick for cookies. I've got a dozen egg rings here. That is if I know how to count, which sometimes I do. And I might have more than that, but we'll see. I think I've got 12 here. It's a blob! That's great. Okay, there we go. And over here for my cooking spray, because I really hate store-bought cooking sprays because they're full of stupid things like lighter
You can
fluid.
get 3 of those.
This is just
And that's
refined coconut oil. It's basically MCT oil, okay? And this is the stuff that doesn't turn solid at room temperature. And I'm just gonna spray these real quick. And then you kind of don't even have to spray these silicone rings,
Tell me I'll help you.
but I like to because it makes it come apart easier.
6 money.
Oh, I'm like gasping for air.
So,
I'm the dumbest person ever. I need to turn on a vent.
Okay, yeah. 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 That
Yep.
Fumes! Okay. Alright. This is just MCT oil. I bought this Misto sprayer at Ross.
Yeah.
I don't remember what I bought it for, but I don't remember how much I paid for it, but it's been great. I love it. So now I've got a dozen little eggy rings here, and I'm going to take the blob, and I'm going to start adding the blob to the cookie rings. And how I choose to do this is with a sundae spoon. I can turn this vent off because it's super loud. Sucky. Alright, so now look, okay, this is the batter now, right? What, we've been doing this for a minute and a half, 2 minutes? Look, this is that's the batter now, okay? Right. That's chia.
6 money left.
So I'm just going to evenly spoon it
These are
out.
1 each.
And this is a double batch, so this would be 12. I'm going to use half of it for these 12. And the other half you're going to see in a second. I have spoons for the other. Yes, I do. Yes. It's Monday, and I'm using a Sunday spoon. It's a day-old spoon. Are you okay with that?
4, 5. I'll take it, Dutchie.
3 copies.
I should be using a Monday spoon. Yes, I should be using a Monday spoon. You know, seems like I just don't wash these
So I
rapidly
have
enough.
a market, I get a
And I get these pretty level and even.
Come on, baby. Give me something I need. See, 2 plates. Grand market. Carb. Yay!
So I'm going to prove to you guys that you can do this with either a microwave or an oven. Okay, you can. You totally can. And it won't matter. Either way, the end product will be virtually identical. Okay, I'll show you how to do it because I'm going to do both simultaneously. To thrill and amaze you. Okay.
Into a province.
Let's take some more of this here. And, I've used about half of this, so
5, 6, 7 money.
take it. Evenly spread these out
7 money.
between the
With
rings. That's another thing that the rings make it great for is you can kind of tell. You got cookies that are bigger than the others. You have cookies that are bigger than the others. I really should buy more egg rings, but I don't have more egg rings, so I'm going to show you how I make up for it.
I'll get this last city.
Okay, so these are good. Oven's preheated.
That's 2.
We're ready to go.
And 3 is
This is
7.
going in the oven
That's 3 buys.
for 25 minutes. Okay, set that timer.
Love it.
Timer. Okay, good. Next,
9, 12,
we're going to do something, now for something totally different.
You got 2 buys. 19, 2 buys.
Bring out my cooling rack. New song by the Mamas and the Papas. Tomorrow will be Tuesday. I need popcorn. I'm going to show you how to make. Well, I call it hot buttered popcorn, but really what it is hot popcorn butter. Really, that's what it is. But we'll get to that sometime.
Ooh, you can put that on top of.
You just drink it like a shot. Melted popcorn butter. Oh my gosh. Okay, so right here we got cupcake cups, silicone cupcake cups, and I'm going to pull out 12 of these babies. 1, 2, 3,
take it, Dutchie.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hey, well, you know, I pulled out 12 without even counting the head. Okay, now Sunday spoon. I'm going to take your Sunday spoon. I'm going to turn on the surface light over here. I don't know if you guys can see okay.
I'll get it.
I'll do it like this so you guys maybe can see a little better. Okay. I love these cupcake cups. You know what trick is though? You know what? Spray them. Even though they're supposed to be non-stick, spray them. I didn't spray these because this chia recipe never sticks to anything. But and these are going to end up being more like chia clusters, chia blobs. You can call them chia blobs. that'll be
There you
great, right? Because I initially did this because one of my viewers said he took my peanut butter muffin recipe and he subbed chia flour, and I'd asked him if he ground it or not. I don't remember if he did or not, but he said he subbed chia seed for it, and it turned out great. Peanut butter muffins with chia seed, okay? So I was like, okay, well, that's fine. Let me try my other muffin batter recipe, and instead of using almond flour, let me try chia flour. So I tried it, and I was watching in the microwave as they were being made, and they were puffing up like beautiful, beautiful muffins, and then in the microwave, they just sort of suck in after they're done, and they turn into these little dense little
It's like,
clusters.
I bet you haven't tried
yeah,
it.
it's like.
It's not muffiny, but it is yummy. And they made really great road food when we went on our great trek and adventure to Portland in March. We packed a bunch of these things, and man, we were sure. And it was a failure, right? I was trying to make them the day before. I was like, oh, honey, I was trying to make some road food the day before. I thought it was going to be such a great idea. I'm sorry, honey, try this. And, oh, this is good. So, you know, failures in the BroBryceCooks kitchen are generally successes. There are some legit failures, but even those are successes because you learn more from failure than you do from success. You learn far more from your mistakes than you do from anything else. All right. And more blobbiness. Dear goodness, look at this. This stuff is so blobby. Look. Blob. It's like blob. Okay. Blobular. Blobular blobbiness. Okay. Learn far more from your mistakes. Yes, Lori. Far more from your mistakes. And you know why you learn more from your mistakes than you do from your successes? Because if you succeed at something, all you know is you followed the instructions, you did it right, something went right, everything was great, right? But if something goes terribly wrong, okay, if something goes terribly wrong, you know you have something negative that reinforces in you, do not go down that path. I put my hand on the stove one time in my life. I got blisters all up and down my fingers. They were there for weeks. You know what happened as a result of that?
You didn't put your hand on the stove.
I only put my hand on the stove one more time in my life.
So it's 12,
And the next time I did it, I was just trying to like double check.
16, 17, 20, 24.
Oh, yep. Yes, Steve, if you're watching, yes, I am planning to, I'm hoping to attend the the Pacific Northwest Commodore Expo in Seattle on Saturday. Because, holy cow, I'm going to be up in the Northwest. It just happens to be on that weekend. And I didn't even plan it that way. So, yeah, I'm going to try. Okay, so all you got to do with these is, you don't even need to, but I have these little molds that I got for making like low-carb bread with, and I hardly use them for that. But what I do use them for is for keeping this stuff from erupting all over the microwave. And then I take like one of these cupcakes, 45 seconds. And I found, like, you could probably nuke all these like the bulk amount of time, but what happens when you do that is that they dry out. So if you do them one at a time for 45 seconds, I found it makes them perfectly moist. Yes, when they come out, they seem almost a little doughy, but when they finish, they are perfectly moist. They are exactly the right consistency and they're shelf stable. So that's why I do them this way. So while these are still going for another 19 minutes or so, we're going to finish up the rest of them in the microwave at the same time, one after the other. I've got my cooling rack right here. Get that going on. This is a beautiful night of streaming, and it's like, I think it's 80 degrees in here, even with the windows all the way down and the fan going, and I'm cooking. That's so smart. You should always cook when it's 80 degrees outside. Duh. Well, I know one thing that's really cool about this recipe is it makes the house smell amazing. So here it is, right? And check this out. This is not even greased, but look.
I can try.
Oop, pops right out.
Sorry.
You stick it on the cooling mat. Next, you don't even have to scrub these things. You just wash them out with some soap and you're good.
Gold?
Now I cannot do that with regular muffins. If I make my chocolate muffins or my banana muffins or my strawberry muffins, I need to grease those puppies because those things stick. But still, I don't have to keep buying muffin cups. You got these little babies right here. There we go. Next. And to keep things going along, what I do is I keep 2 of these things. And all I gotta do is swap them out.
2 coppers? Or 3 coppers? You want 3 coppers?
My connection is very poor. I know I look like Mario right now, but trust me. When you see me in Portland, I look different. I'm not all pixely. I promise. Okay, time 45 seconds. Here we go. Man, we've been going for 1 hour and 17 minutes. I can't believe it. Time must really go flying by when you have a terrible internet connection. Yeah, thank you, Pixel Face. Whitney called me Pixel Face. Oh, mean. I'm happy with my pixelated body image. How dare you pixel shame me? I'm voxel. I'm not pixelated. I'm voxel. Okay. There we go. 45 seconds. One after the other. 3.5 hour stream and it didn't seem long at all. I know I'm having fun. I'm having fun. I could do this. I could do this a lot. And I'm gonna do this a lot. So we're gonna have a lot of fun making really messed up experimental recipes all the time. And messing up my kitchen. We will be fortunate if by the end of this lease that we're not pulling flour and waffle batter and stuff off the ceiling. And you can make fun, you guys, you're very welcome to make fun of my cupboards being open all the time. Because the more comments I have, the more interactivity I have, the more promotion I get on YouTube. So you're absolutely, positively welcome to make fun of me for having my cupboards open all the time. And for my messy kitchen. You can totally make fun of me for that. Because I'm not cleaning it for you. But we are going to have to stop in a little while, I think. What time is it?
I don't know. 11?
Is it 11?
Almost 11?
Oh my gosh. You watch this one girl plays games and cooks on Twitch and she streams all day for 7, 8, 9 hours. It's crazy. Well, you know what though? I have this one little problem. I'm not a hot chick. So it doesn't work that well. I don't have the things needed to draw people's attention for 7, 8 hours. You know, all I have is me being stupid. And if I can be stupid, and if that can make one person happy, then I've changed the world, and I'm happy. This one is not done.
Killing me.
battery.
Oh, I get 2 more cards.
Wah, wah, wah.
1, 2,
Okay.
grammar.
So now that we got a few of these
City.
cooling off, I'm going to show you what they look like up close. These are wonderful little clusters of chia. They're very great. Oh yeah, yeah. You can say her name. She's cool. Cool and nerdy.
Two of them.
Alright, so I got 3, 6,
Absolutely. You can say her name.
10, oh. 10, 11.
Yeah, Tilda's. Tilda's with the lobster hat. I love her lobster hat.
16, so I get 2.
And see, I could make that a gimmick too. I have like a fuzzy, like a trapper hat. Except the problem is, I live in the freaking desert. And it's gonna be like 10,000 degrees in this kitchen. And it's gonna be like caked with sweat. Can't do that. You guys are going to be lucky if you're watching this later this season if I'm not up here with my shirt off and my farmer tan and stuff. Probably getting in all kinds of trouble on YouTube. Nippity snap snap. Oh, Blossom likes chia. I just found out.
I'm going to reset my workshop and get in touch with you.
Blossom likes chia. Oh, she like everything. She's happy. She's happy. You know what I could do is I could figure out a way to like have a Blossom cam. If I could like hook up a GoPro to Blossom and have it like wirelessly connected to the stream, and like have like a snorri cam hooked up to Blossom that like follows her around all the time, then I would have like mega ratings, right? Like you could watch me cooking, and you could watch this thing all the time. We could do streams for hours, 16 hours at a time. Watch Blossom and me making terrible fouls in the kitchen. Now I gotta wash my hands because she's a filthy mongrel of an animal.
Oh my God, I'm trying to
It'd be hilarious. Hey, thank you, Lori. We'll see you again. Make sure you check it out on Twitch, because on Twitch I'm gonna have some. I'm probably gonna do like half of my stuff on Twitch and then re-upload to here and there and try to mix it up. But thank you very much for checking in, and I will see you again, Lori. This is cool. People have been, you guys have been really interactive tonight, and I want to do this at any time and try and just be really interactive. Your dog is attacking you and you're trying to watch. I want to try and be really interactive with you guys and not just be cooking while you guys are watching. That just seems goofy. "45 seconds at a time." Right. There is that. And then this is still battery. Yes. Whoa. Oops. There we go. 45 seconds. Let's turn that.
Let's go.
Okay. And what are you guys doing now? Whitney, what's your dog's name again? I've watched your videos with your dog. She's very cute. And Whitney, I don't know if you've met Beetle. Have you met Beetle? Beetle! Come here, Beetle. Come here. Come here, little sweetheart. Come here and get Daddy's hands all dirty again so he has to watch him while he's cooking. Come here. Oh, this is little beetle. Oh, little beetle, you're so pixely. Yes, you're so cute. Yes. Oh, look over there. There's a doggy. Looks just like you. I wonder why. Yes. So cute. Little mousy little ears. She's so tiny. Makes me want to squish her. Into oblivion. Okay, gotta wash the hands again. Dog time. I know, I'm gonna have to like figure out some way to rig it up to the dogs. That'll be my gimmick. I'll find some, I have a tiny little thumb cam thing, but it's not wireless, so I have to figure out some way. Maybe I could make it, no, the Wi-Fi, SD cards don't work that way. If someone can send me a link to a teeny tiny spy cam that's wireless type thing that would work for this purpose, that'd be super cool. Be fun. It'd have to be able to run for hours at a time.
Unless I didn't see it.
Pixel Pup, I know, she's so pixely and cute. Well, like that'd be cool, but my dogs are like all over the place. My dogs go everywhere. I'd have to like couch cam or something. You know, it'd be a couch cam. The camera that like goes back and forth from the two ends of the couch, and then the dogs can. Man, I really hate my internet connection.
Once you brought all the clothes, I gotta get going. I gotta get her.
Try and get that going.
I'm gonna get one here. She's gonna stop. And I did. I bought as many of those bells as I possibly get my hands on.
Yeah, and then after I bought the last colony,
We are almost done with
it was
these
like a duchy.
chia clusters.
You got one province.
Did I?
Yeah. I got the rest. That's the only reason I got as close as it did. Otherwise, you would have annihilated it.
It's gonna be so good. I'm gonna take like half of them on the road with me. Maybe more than half. The half that I don't eat tonight. If you ever get, aww. Whitney says, if I ever, she says, I'm squishing my pup, but it takes both my arms. If I ever get a small dog, I'm naming it Pixel. What a cute name for a tiny doggy! Now, you see, we would name Beetle Pixel, but because she's black, we would have to call her Dead Pixel.
Oh, goodness.
That's so not cool. Or we could, you know, it could be like a Nightmare Before Christmas. We could name the dog Zero.
So we have for another one or so now.
So I'm gonna finish this video up with making mayonnaise. Okay, so I'll make. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna disconnect and I'm gonna reconnect it. If you guys want to catch up again, or should I just? Tony, what do you think? Should I just do the mayonnaise now, or should I make another stream? Because I can always download the thing and edit it, right? I can always pull it off and upload it as a new video, right? Keep it going. All right, I'll keep it going. I'm going to keep it going then. And I will just make mayonnaise right here on the end of this thing. Okay, that's the end of the clusters. And in 4 minutes, the baked ones will be out. You can see how they look after they've been cooling for a little bit. They're nice and dense. Well, you know what you could name her? You could name her Roundup. She's a black dog, and her name is Dandelion. You could have named her Roundup. You know. I know that's not a cool joke. Not a cool joke, Bryce. You should not say terrible, stupid things like that. That's totally insensitive. Don't be an insensitive jerk, Bryce.
Don't be that guy.
Don't be that guy, Bryce.
Oh wait.
Sorry, I'm that guy. Doggone it! I hate that!
He's that guy. What are you gonna do?
That guy.
What?
I'm trying to.
She's helping me clear out the mayonnaise
Ow.
Careful.
so that we can have more mayonnaise. To make more mayonnaise, I'm going to show you guys the easiest mayonnaise, the best tasting mayonnaise
So good.
ever. So easy to make. And you can make it in a regular blender, or you can make it with a stick blender. Does not matter. You can make it either way. In fact, for the sake of fun, to mix it up, I will make it with a regular blender.
You were the same fry in my belly?
Been trying everything, mother.
Oh, okay.
Because she's washing the container anyway, so I will just make it in a regular blender.
Oh, you're not. Okay. Well, then I'll just leave it in that container.
No, I'm going to put it in that container. I'm not going to leave it in this. Our wonderful blender.
I already did
Okay.
that.
Super easy to make mayonnaise, okay?
So he says.
Except when Mama's in the fridge. Brings everything to a screeching halt. Oh. That's such a great noise. I'm so glad we captured that. Let's see. I need some Dijon mustard. And I need my lemon juice. I need 2 farm fresh eggs. Again, I reiterate the reason why we use farm fresh eggs is because we're going to have raw eggs in this recipe, and if you have raw eggs in your mayonnaise, you know, of course you're keeping it in the fridge, but people, you know, they worry about bacterial stuff, and you really don't need to be so paranoid about it if they are farm fresh eggs, because unlike non-farm fresh eggs, they haven't been washed in a factory to wash off of their protection. Oh. And typically farm fresh egg farms, they inspect their animals for salmonella, which is actually a requirement over in the UK. You can't get away with that washing stuff over there, because if you ever get like farmers market eggs, you notice they got like this film on the outside. The eggs are extra hard. Turn that off. Now check this out. This is what these look like with the little rabbit ears, the little bunnies, little hoppy bunnies, little hoppy chia bunnies. Ooh, ow! Who says that the silicone doesn't get hot? It does get hot. Boink. So she's like clearing out the container for the mayonnaise. I could make it in that. You can do it either way with a stick blender, but your technique is generally going to be the same. Okay, I'm going to throw these in there.
It's going to be easier if you use your stick blender because it's clean. And you don't have to transfer and getting the dishes.
True. That's true. More dishes.
There's like tons of them.
I know, there's tons of dishes because I made a bunch of stuff with these beautiful cookies. Look at that. These are gorgeous. Wonderful. And they're soft and chewy. And they're delicious. And holy cow, this thing is hot. Oh. Dang.
Did somebody just say he took it out of the oven, Doug?
I took it out of the oven. Now you understand that that is how they cook things, by making them hot.
He's silly.
Yay.
Is Tony still there?
Tony is still here.
Hi, Tony.
Mama says hi, Tony. All right, there we go. We got a dozen cookies and a dozen blobs things. We'll just put this back in the oven. We smell smoke. We know it's the parchment paper. Don't worry. Okay.
It's just Bryce thinking.
So you can do this either with a regular blender or with one of those. And she's right about the dishes tonight. So some other time.
The smoke you see is his brain evaporating.
And that way, when I do an updated video for the mayonnaise, what you're going to see is I will show how it's done with the stick blender, or with this thing. I'll make the other updated video with this, and I'll say, you can watch how to do it with a stick blender on this stupid live video where I'm goofing off and making all kinds of mistakes and making a mess in my kitchen. Because you like that better. Because most of you don't have stick blenders. But it works both. It works the same both ways. The general principle of the thing is that mayonnaise, when it sets up, it relies on the ratio of oil to water-based ingredients. And a lot of people think it's water or it's oil to acid. The acid does help in the chemical reaction that happens, all of the magic in coagulating the emulsification of the difference. And this is how you can, this also will help you if you have mayonnaise that breaks, or aioli that breaks, okay? You have a quick question, go for it. But I'm going to keep going and I'll answer your question when that question comes. But the it's all about the ratio of water-based to oil-based ingredients. So if it breaks, which is actually not a thing that it does, it's a thing that it doesn't do, and that is set up. It doesn't emulsify. If it breaks, then the way that you fix it is by adding, like, you take and transfer it to another container, you add like a tablespoon of water to it, and then add the mix to it again slowly, okay? When we add the oil to this, which is going to be most of the recipe, when we add the oil to this, we're going to add the oil very slowly, and you'll see that about halfway through, this stuff will set up, and it'll set up so firm that the stick will barely come out of it. You take my farm fresh eggs and put them back in the stick blender stick.
Stick. It's right here.
Thank you for the stick blender stick.
Stick blender.
Okay. And the stick blender has stuff on it. Why does the stick blender have stuff on it?
It was in the strainer.
No, this stick blender. This has stuff. Can I have a Clorox wipe, please?
Ew.
Ew. This is wonderful. Look at this. The side of my stick blender has stuff. Stuff. Your husband hates mayonnaise.
Oh.
And
sadly.
you wouldn't eat it fast enough. Yep. In fact, mayonnaise holds better if you make a smaller batch of it. So if you want to half this recipe, you feel free to do that, okay? You can half this recipe and you can, it'll keep just fine, okay? This recipe will only hold for maybe a couple weeks on the outside. We eat it so fast that that's not going to happen. 2 weeks is just, this mayonnaise is not going to see the light of day for 2 weeks. That's just not going to happen. But if your husband hates mayonnaise, it may be something wrong with your husband. That may be the more important question. But there are other variations that I will talk about. Yes, Tony, we all know that there is something wrong with you because you do not like mayonnaise or blue cheese. That's a defect. In my opinion, we're just going to have to see about sending you back for warranty work. Okay. But seriously, there's variations that I'll talk about in this recipe that you can do that your husband may not even know he's eating mayonnaise. I'm serious. So there's our stick blender. It is KitchenAid. They have Cuisinart ones, and they have a great KitchenAid kit with the food processor attachment stuff at Costco. It's great. You know, I put the eggs away and I didn't even get 2 out. I need 2 eggs for this recipe. So Whitney, if you're going to cut this recipe in half, then you would use 1 egg. This recipe is so stupid simple. It's like all my recipes.
Yeah.
So this is an egg, 1 egg. And people, they do these recipes where they like separate out eggs, and I'm just like lazy, dude. I'm not gonna do that. You wanna, are you just gonna use egg yolk, or are you just gonna use, no, you know what? I'm not gonna separate out the egg, because when am I gonna have an opportunity? When am I gonna have I gotta come up with another recipe then to use my egg whites or to use my egg yolks, and I'm just not gonna do that. I'm either gonna use an egg or I'm not. Dang it. Here's my eggs. Okay.
The only thing it works for is lemon pies with meringue.
There you go.
I'm sure, but I don't make meringue. So and meringue, even if I did make meringue is too complicated. I'm stupid.
Welcome to Bryce's world.
Oh, I do need to do that, don't I? I need to bust out my little Franken 64 and do that. So we got 2 eggs in here. On top of that, we're going to put 2 tablespoons of you know, Dijon mustard. Do you have any Grey Poupon? So 2 tablespoons of Dijon mustard. Now the flavor profile that I'm making right here is almost a dead ringer for best foods, okay? And I live in a household full of people who are like best foods mayo Nazis. To me, like best foods, like store-bought mayonnaise is like, it's like, you know, I might as well be putting school paste on my food. But that's just, you know, how I feel. Mayonnaise is not terribly exciting. So this sort of hits the flavor profile of, you know, mayonnaise is not supposed to be exciting. It's just supposed to make your food wet. You know, that's it. So that's what it does. So I'm putting in a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. I'm putting in a tablespoon of lemon juice. You can use fresh squeezed lemon juice if you're, I don't know, but I've got this old bottle of lemon juice. 1 tablespoon of each. Now, Whitney, you can figure that out. You can cut that in half. Okay? You're seeing your husband eat it, so split it in half. Okay, so that's the acid part, okay? That's the acid part of the equation, is the lemon juice and the vinegar. And if you don't have any vinegar, you can just use lemon juice. It's going to taste different, but it will still be mayonnaise, and it will still taste pretty darn good. You're going to be surprised. Okay, and I'm going to use a half a teaspoon of salt in this, okay? And I've tried it with 1/4 and it's just not salty enough. So for Whitney, you would use 1/4 teaspoon of salt. If you do not put salt in this, it will taste like you're eating oil.
Because it's oil.
Put salt in it, please. It will just taste like you're eating just fat. You're just eating fat anyway, which is good, fat, but you won't like it. If you add the salt, you can actually put stuff in it. So I'm going to put in, I'm going to watch, you can watch this. I'm going to watch it. You can watch it too. I'm going to put in some, I'm using coarse ground salt, and you can use fine ground salt, but just enough to like cover the top of the goop in the bottom of that, okay? And then I like to put 2 other things, 2 other seasonings. Now the seasonings are totally up to you. If you don't like these kind of seasonings, then you know what? You might be defective, but you probably want to try some other salt or some other seasoning. So I'm going to put a little bit of garlic, just a little dusting of garlic in there because I'm not a huge garlic fan, but it does add to the flavor. And then some paprika. And paprika, just so you know, paprika ain't nothing but crushed, pulverized red pepper flakes. So if you got red pepper flakes and you ain't got no paprika left, stick some red pepper flakes in your magic bullet or your food processor or whatever, and make yourself some paprika. That's all it is, and it's better. So
It is.
There's all the spices, the whole bit. Now, what I'm using for my oil is an avocado oil. And this is non-GMO avocado oil, okay?
Super
If we can afford organic stuff, we try to get organic. This happens to be non-GMO. I don't want GMOs in my household. And I can get into the whole thing, but I'm not gonna, because this here channel is all about fun. You can go over to the BroBryce Health stuff if you want to get all clinical and scientific and listen to me rant and rave about health stuff. So here we go. Gonna stick the stick blender in there, and we're gonna start blending. Okay. And it's gonna get loud, so and it's gonna start moving around. So I like to use a little silicone trivet to kind of quiet it down on the counter and to also keep it from moving around too much. But I'm going to mix it up a little bit, and then you're going to start pouring in the oil very slowly. This is going to be about 3 cups of oil. So you would use 1.5 cups, Whitney, for your recipe. You could do this in a blender. If you do it in a blender, you just start mixing right now with the eggs and the Dijon and the spices and all that stuff in there, and then you slowly add the oil through the hole in the top of the blender. If you're using a regular blender, it works exactly the same way. And I will say that if you do not add it slowly and you add it all at once, you're gonna break your mayo probably half the time or better. And then you just wasted $10, $20 worth of oil. So you can see it's still really soupy. It's real goopy. This recipe, it stays this way for about 2/3 of the time. If you're doing this in a regular blender for this recipe, I would measure out 3 cups of oil. And right now it's starting to set up just a tiny bit. And adding that oil slowly. It's just starting to barely set up. You're going to hear this thing start fighting for life. It's going to gasp for life. Hey honey, you want to add the oil? So I can like two-hand this? You can just pour it in real slow. Do it on the other side of my hand where the cup is. There we go. That's great, isn't it? Oh, it's making this beautiful mayonnaise now. That's perfect right there. Just keep going. Well, we'll be at this all night. I needed lubrication. And it's happening. Avocado oil is good for the skin. You're proving that tonight. Teamwork. Hang on. Hang on, top it off. Top it off, Susan. Top it off. Top it off. There you go, good. Hang on.
He wants more lubrication.
I want this to stay up. I had to share. Top it off again. There you go. That's good. That's all. Wow, that's fabulous. You got it everywhere. Oh my gosh, it's about to break off this stick. And I'll show you. All right, now I'm gonna pull this stick. My hands all oily. Dang it.
Just rub it in.
Oh. Okay, there's my blender. And look, watch this. This is crazy. Okay, this is the stick. Is that crazy? That is how thick this mayonnaise is. It is so thick. Okay, that is awesome. And this works every single time. It works perfectly every time. But when I was doing it where I have an old mayonnaise recipe, and the recipe is great, the flavor profile is great, but I did it where I poured all the oil in all at once on top of the goopy mix at the bottom, and then I just started slowly working my way to the top, and half the time I did that, it just never ever set up. So this stuff is perfect every single time. And every time I make this, and I mean this, I really do mean this, every time I make this, I eat a spoonful of it and I go, man, I make the best mayonnaise. And I always, everybody in this household will testify that I always say, I'm not sure if I mentioned it, but I make the best mayonnaise.
Oh, that's not the right container.
And if you make this mayonnaise, you will say it over and over. I'm sure you'll say the same thing. You'll say, Bryce makes the best mayonnaise.
I'm thinking what I can't find is what I have in the dishwasher.
Okay. Oh.
That doesn't go there.
Goodness, this is good stuff. It is so thick. It doesn't want to come out of the stick blender.
It's usually hard.
Go. Yeah, Steve, if you're watching, I'm gonna have to get a hold of you after I'm done with this, so that I can so we can talk about that and whether or not you want to carpool up to the Commodore Expo or something, and we can trade off or something, trade off driving. Oh my gosh, there's mayonnaise everywhere.
Ow.
Hot. You know when you turn on the hot water,
It's not always that.
you know what comes out of it? That's the garbage disposal.
Is there something else?
Maybe. But look at this. This is the mayonnaise. Okay. That is just wonderful mayonnaise. Oh, it's so good. And I will tell you that it's always good right out of the jar, but if you wait till the next day,
It's even better.
the flavors are able to mingle more, and it's just so much better. It's miles better the next day even. Oh, wonderful. Beautiful mayonnaise. Homemade mayonnaise is the only mayonnaise for me, because the other stuff is made of garbage. You got soybean oil or you got canola oil. Soybean's an allergen. Canola oil is inflammatory. You got safflower oil, which is inflammatory. Then you got olive oil, which is perfectly healthy if you actually have real olive oil, which most people don't. And if you do have real olive oil, I hate olive oil. I just hate it. So it doesn't matter if you got real olive oil. But half the olive oil, more than half the olive oil out there is fake anyway. So, even if you've got olive oil mayonnaise, you may not actually have olive oil mayonnaise, come to think of it. So there's that. Now we have a full jar of mayonnaise to make everybody happy. Well, Bryce is up in Portland, and their poor souls are stuck here with just whatever mayonnaise that I leave them with. Anyway, guys, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate all the interactivity. This was super fun, and I'm looking forward to doing more of this stuff on better internet connection. Hopefully my laptop will work better for doing this. We can Skype for hours, and it works great, but this cell phone is not working great. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for putting up with the pixelated me, the Mario Brothers me, and
Bye-bye.
we will see you again real soon. Good night, Whitney. Good night, Tony. Thanks again, Lori, if you watch this again, and y'all have a great night. Please hit that subscribe button down there, or if you're watching this on Facebook, go to the YouTube page and subscribe if you can. That'd be great. And then be sure to check out my twitch.tv/BroBryceCooks, and follow me there. And that way, when I start doing live streams there, because I'm going to do like half and half, and you guys can enjoy both sides of it, and I'll be doing crazy, wacky, messed up stuff everywhere I can. Anyway, thanks for having a great night, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.